Grasslands. Grasslands are such an underrated ecosystem, and part of that is because we have converted so much of our grasslands globally into agriculture that we don't really recognize it as much of an ecosystem at all. But it's really functionally an important ecosystem. This ecosystem's structure is all hidden underground. So I like this map or this diagram of this fella here showing what a healthy grass looks like and how big the root system is. This structure is hidden. We don't see this. And when I was working with Agriculture Canada, some of the grasses that we were measuring when they were healthy, a grass root can extend 5 miles from one plant. So we've got lots and lots of organics that are put into the soil. So when you've got a healthy grassland, you've got healthy soil. Healthy soil means healthy organics. And back to that idea of organics, when we're shedding leaves and the nutrients then get put back into the soil for a healthy plant, or when a forest fire comes through and converts the litter into nutrients that can be taken up, these roots are doing the same thing. So when we converted the landscape over 100 years ago now into agricultural fields, there was little need for fertilizer because the soil was so rich in nutrients because of this unseen ecosystem structure, which was all subterranean. Really kind of important. So we can look at the ecological structure of the individual plant as having individual long leaves. When we look at the structural conditions of the ecosystem itself, we don't see a lot of vertical structure. It's pretty basal, pretty close to the surface of the earth. There's not a lot of height. Every once in a while you might get interrupted by a tree or two. You know now that those trees are going to be where there's a little bit of moisture in the ground, right? So these species here are adapted to really low moisture conditions and really cold temperature conditions. Remember, we're continental here, so hot summer temperatures, cold winter temperatures, and we're not near a body of water, so not a lot of moisture is coming into this environment. So these are really hardy plants. We can see across North America, and it's unfortunate that I've yet to see a really good map over the last 15 years of this, but when I do, if I get one this semester, I'll send it to you in a message. That when you're closer to where the moisture is, the grasses are going to be taller. So 100 years ago, 200 years ago, we had grasses on the east or the western edge of Ohio that were 6 feet tall. As you drove westward, what would happen is we're losing moisture, so we're losing height in these grasslands. So we went from 6 feet tall through to, in Minnesota, the grasses were 4 feet tall. You get into the Dakotas where the lowest moisture conditions, the grasses are only a couple of inches tall. You get into Montana, and the grasses start to become fescue and they're a little bit taller again. They might be a foot tall to 2 feet or 3 feet tall in some cases, depending on local conditions. So there's a real clear delineation of height of grass with volume of moisture.